I mean, the way she is interested in serving the society is quite an inspiration for me. Dr. Madhavi Garu is working as a DGM in steel plant, um, and she is interested also in community health building, and she cares about the health of everyone, especially the empowering the Hindu community as well. Just a few more words about Dr. Madhavi Garu. I would like to add that she is an MD in community medicine from Andhra Medical College, and she is an associate fellow of industrial health from Central Labor Institute, Mumbai. And she is also a yoga instructor. She is also doing yoga instructor course from S-VYASA Bangalore, S-VYASA Bangalore, and she is also a postgraduate diploma holder in community mental health from NIMHANS, and she is currently pursuing MSc Yoga from S-VYASA University, Bangalore. And as I told her earlier, she is working as a DGM medical Visakhapatnam steel plant. Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure having you with in today's meeting.
Right. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So, namaste everyone. Am I audible? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, fine. Namaste everyone. So,
Namaste.
so today we are going to discuss about this is a 4-week session where I would like to talk on essence. It is only a basic fundamental course. I just started. So today we will first discuss something about the terminology and some basic requirements to understand Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So first I will just pray Sage Patanjali. Before we learn the course, we should let us, I will just pray. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi. Those who are interested, you can go through the meaning. Next slide, please. So, why we are interested and why I am interested to talk on this topic. And first of all, let us understand what is Patanjali Yoga Sutras. What are Patanjali Yoga Sutras? Patanjali Maharshi, there are so many schools of thoughts because in ancient Indian philosophy, the knowledge transfer used to be to Shruti, means they used to render the knowledge to their disciples. Documentation in during around maybe 2000 years back or so. So there are so many schools of thoughts about Patanjali Maharshi. So what we understand is the sage Patanjali Maharshi was there around 2500 years back, and there are some other schools of thoughts that so many other people were also there, and it is a collection of different sages knowledge. But let us have an idea that the sage he rendered all the sutras and he collected all the knowledge, and it is an essence of Vedanta, that is Upanishads and Brahma Sutras and so many other Vedic scriptures. the essence of these scriptures to make us understand in a simple language, he formulated them into sutras. So what is a sutra? Sutra means it is what you call it is a collection of large amount of knowledge into a small formula. Like, see, we have F is equal to ma in physics, force is equal to mass into acceleration, or E is equal to mc square. So, that if we go into that formula, we have to learn so much of things and we get so much knowledge if we evaluate that formula in detail. So like that, the philosophical knowledge and spiritual knowledge was formulated into small formulas, and that is called a sutra. And in a chronological order, in a step by step, they were just placed in a serial. So it is a sutra. And what is the place of Patanjali Yoga Sutras in our Indian philosophy? So we should understand what we are learning, what is its position in Indian philosophy. So next slide, please. So some of the slides I collected from internet. So in Indian philosophy, there are some ideas and darshanas which are totally based on Vedas, the knowledge of Vedas, and some ideologies are not following or not having much faith on Vedas. So Patanjali Yoga Sutras, it is based on the Vedic knowledge. The background of this sutras is based on the Vedic knowledge. So they are called Astika Darshanas. So it comes under Astika Darshana, and it is not exactly the summary of Vedas, but it it has taken the ideas from the Vedas, and Patanjali Maharshi formulated his own ideas out of his experience. So as the spiritual knowledge, it cannot be explained because it is beyond the senses of an individual entity, human being. It to be only experienced. So different sages have experienced that knowledge and they have given their idea. But the target or ultimate goal is knowing the ultimate reality and true self. So under that idea, there are so many other schools of thoughts like Samkhya, Yoga, Vaiseshika, and Nyaya. So under that, the yoga Patanjali, the yoga philosophy given by Seth Patanjali comes under Astika Darshanas. So that is the position of Patanjali Yoga Sutras in Indian philosophy. So we can say it is an Astika Darshana. Next slide. Okay. So why should we know about Patanjali Yoga Sutra? What is our interest? So what is it? So it is a systemic process of accelerating the growth of a person in their entirety. So in WHO coins the term, defines the definition of health, gives the definition of health as physical, mental, and social well-being. So all these aspects are also there in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And if we really follow these, understand and implement them in our routine life, definitely we can achieve highest level of health. And also the purpose of yoga is to make every individual free from all suffering, misery, and attachment, improves emotional intelligence, improves concentration and working capacity. In the worldly aspect also, Yoga Sutras has got some position, and also to improve ourselves at spiritual level. In the spiritual world also, it has got its own position. helps to maintain relaxation and awareness in every action. So this sentence you will better understand after you complete the course, after the 4 sessions. It helps to maintain relaxation and awareness in every action. That is very important aspect which we can gain after practicing these sutras. Next slide. So there are some terminologies. So it is, as I said, it is one of the Astika Darshanas. There are some qualifying factors to learn or to know about, read some Shastra or a Darshana. So why we read that? What is there in that? What is the relation between a person who is learning it and what is the benefit? So every spiritual or every Indian philosophical text, they define the content in 4 aspects. So first one is Vishaya. So the subject matter, what we are studying. So it is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The subject matter is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. It talks about the management of mind or mastery over mind. So that is the subject matter of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Then Adhikari, who is eligible to learn. So any person who wants to live happily and know about their true self and to gain mastery over mind, irrespective of their age, sex, or anything. So, or region or religion. So, anybody who is really interested to know the true self and to gain mastery over the mind, and Adhikari. So, the Vishya is mastery over the mind, and Adhikari is a person who is interested. So, the Sambandha is because mind is part of an individual. So, it is knowing of self. So, that is the relation between the Vishya and the Adhikari. Then Prayojana, benefit or result. Next slide. So, what is the benefit we get if we learn about or if we practice? So, it's not learning the subject here. First, we should learn, we should understand, we should learn, then we have to implement. If we implement only, we will get the Prayojana. So, what is the Prayojana? Benefits as mentioned in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and so Hatha Yoga Pradipika is also like it is an yoga subject which concentrates more on physical aspect of the individual, and Patanjali Yoga Sutras, they talk more about the mental aspect. So it is the all-round personality development, and it also gives deep relaxation, slowing down of breath and maintaining balance at pranic level, increasing creativity and willpower at mental level, sharpening the intellect and calming down the mind at intellectual level, enhancing happiness in life and people at emotional level. So manifesting the innate divinity in man in all aspects of life. So we have so many aspects in our life like physical aspect, mental aspect, intellectual aspect, emotional aspect. In all aspects, the mind management and body management is given in this sutras. Next slide. Yeah, so we discussed about the benefits at personal level and at society level at large. If many people are well versed and gain the knowledge and try to implement, so the society at large is going to get benefited. So the way of life offers a newer understanding of the social dynamics. Not only does the yoga way of life provide framework for the intelligent management of forces within the internal inner micro world, that is that mental level, intellectual level, but it also provides right basis for macro transactions in the society. So when you are more matured at your mental level and intellectual level, the way you look at the world also changes. So that is the thing that is more required nowadays. Apart from providing a philosophical base of social dialogue, wholesome approach based on the comprehensive wisdom of Sanatana Dharma is provided for the society. So that is the reason why we are here today and discussing. So we want to spread this knowledge to the society level. First, we should be equipped with knowledge at our personal level and try to implement it. Then try to apply this knowledge at social level and spread the message at social level so that every person in the society can live more happily and healthy. Next slide. Yeah. So before understanding the sutras, we should just have some idea about these four aspects which are very much discussed in the sutras. So Sankhya model, Panchakosha model, Antakarana Chatushraya and Gunas. So what is Sankhya model? Next slide. So Sankhya philosophy is another school of thought that is also comes under Astika Darshanas. So the background of Patanjali Yoga Sutras is mostly matching to Sankhya philosophy with few differences, but we need not go into much deeper into those differences now. But we should just have a basic idea of Sankhya philosophy. So in Sankhya philosophy, they discuss about there are two aspects that are discussed in the universe, or you can say in the world: the ultimate consciousness or true self, or what you call the true reality is discussed as Purusha, that is consciousness, and the external world what we see is called as Prakriti. So they say Purusha and Prakriti are the permanent entities. From Prakriti, the whole world what we see now is manifested. So Prakriti, Purusha is a neutral, unchanged entity. With the support of Purusha, Prakriti is manifested as an external world. So from Prakriti, first the foremost thing that is manifested is the intelligence, or the first principle of discrimination, that is called Mahat. From there, the self-identity or Ahankara entity born. From there we got Ahankara, the sattvic aspect of Ahankara is created. It is formulated into Manas. In that we have 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. And with the Rajasic aspect, along with the Rajasic aspect is the what you call the driving force, and the Ahankara, the tamasic aspect of Ahankara is formulated into 5 subtle elements, that is they are called Tanmatra. From there the Panchabhutas were evaluated. So they are earth, water, fire, air and space. Actually, Sankhya philosophy is another big subject. So here you please just remember these terms. You got from Ahankara, we got Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. These are called Gunas. The world is full of Gunas. There are so many permutations and combinations of concentration of these Gunas are changing regularly. So from there are different aspects that are changing in the world. So what you have to remember is we got Purusha and Prakriti. From there we got Buddhi. From there we got Ahankara. From there we got Indriyas and Panchabhutas. So just you remember the hierarchy: Buddhi, then Ahankara, then the Manas and Indriyas. So this background is required to understand the Yoga Sutras. Next slide, please. And the Panchakosha model in some Taittiriya Upanishad, they are having so many energy layers. What we see, the body is one layer that is called Annamaya Kosha. This is made up of it is a physical body what we see. Each and every individual has got a physical body that they call it as Annamaya Kosha. In the Annamaya Kosha, then we have Pranamaya Kosha. So the energy what we breathe, the energy that is flowing in the body. So you can say it may be the electromagnetic uh, energy that is flowing in the nerves, the oxygen that is going and flowing in the body cells and transmitted to the body cells. That you can say that is a prana, not exactly, but you can understand like that because now we are at basic level. So sheath of energy is called pranamaya kosha. Then manomaya kosha is the thought stuff, thinking stuff, mind stuff. The thinking aspect of our individual is a sheath made up of mind stuff. That is called manomaya kosha. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha, the sheath made up of intelligence and what you call discriminating capacity. The knowledge what we have, on the basis of that knowledge, we develop some discriminating capacity, intelligence. That is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then the ultimate happiness or the true reality of an individual, or true self, or pranava, or consciousness, whatever we can. There are so many names to it in different subjects, in different uh, philosophical texts. It is named indifferently, but that is the one, only one. So that is the Anandamaya Kosha. So our journey should be from Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha to realize our true entity, true self, that is Anandamaya Kosha. The misery or the dissatisfaction or the sadness or the suffering is because of we are identifying ourselves with mostly with Annamaya Kosha and Panamaya Kosha, or to some extent up to Manomaya Kosha. We are not able to realize beyond that. So that is the reason our suffering is the main reason for our suffering is only identifying ourselves with the outer layer, and we are not able to go into the inner layer because of lack of knowledge. So now the thing what we are doing is, now we are trying to learn the knowledge. Once you learn the knowledge, then we can start implementing or practicing it. If we don't have knowledge, we will be held up with the three koshas only. So first now we are learning. So we are entering into Vijnanamaya kosha. Then we will develop the knowledge, we will analyze, we will try to then we will just get confident that if we lot of confusion, we will try to come out of that confusion. Then we will get clarity with our intelligence. We will get more clarity. Then we will start implementing it. Then we can reach to Anandamaya Kosha. So this is Panchakosha model. Next slide. Yeah. Then the terminology what I mentioned is the Antakarana or Chitta. Chitta is in Patanjali Maharshi calls the entire mind stuff as Chitta. In some other texts, there is some confusion. Chitta is mentioned in the place of Smruti. But let us, because now we are learning about Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So the term chitta is applied to all the four aspects of the mind. That is antakarana. Actually, it is called antakarana chatushtaya. Chatushtaya means four. The four mind stuff aspects. So the first one is manas. Manas means it is an information gathering entity. So how we get information from this world? We use our panchendriyas or the five special senses. So the eyes, we see with our eyes and learn something. We hear something like how we are doing now. You are watching my slideshow and also hearing to me. So you are getting some information. Then sometimes we use our nose smell and learn some knowledge, and we eat, and with our tongue we get some knowledge, and then with skin, touch sensation, we gain some knowledge. So we use all our special senses to learn something from this world, and we get some information from the world, and we get some knowledge. Buddhi is discriminating capacity and deciding capacity. Suppose you got some knowledge. Suppose now my phone is ringing. So my manas, with my ears, I heard my phone is ringing, and I saw my mobile. There is some call. So that is my manas. Now what I have to do, whether I have to lift the call or cut the call, I have to decide. Now I am in the class. So who will decide? My buddhi will decide what to do. So it is a deciding capacity. Okay. Then smriti. Smriti is it is a memory house. So what is the memory house? See, the past experiences in our life, we don't remember all the things what from our class 1 till now, what we did in our school, or what I did in my house from age of maybe the 3 years of age till now, what I did. I don't remember. There are some aspects which are deeply printed into my mind. So those are called smritis. So whenever there is a similar type of incident or something connected to it happens in my life, my memory house will pop up my experience. It will only tell you. Right now, I will give you the same example. Now my mobile rang because I got some call. So now I cut the call. I use my buddhi and cut the call, and it will be registered in my mind. And mobile in silent mode, or keep my mobile away so that I will not get disturbed. So because again that time, whenever there is a phone, when I am starting the session, when I see my mobile, this will be recorded in my mind and it will pop up. Yeah, now today also you are taking a class, and today also you may get disturbed because of your mobile. So keep it somewhere. So with that experience, again I will decide what to do. That is smriti. Then ahankara. Ahankara means identifying myself with my body, with my abilities, which I get by using my jnanendriyas and karmendriya, and with my also sometimes with my knowledge. So actually my reality is inner self, but I identify myself with these areas, and I want something, I need something, this is mine, this I-ness is called ahankara. So see, there is nothing wrong or right, anything. These are the four aspects of the Antakarana Chatushtaya. They are continuously acting in our mind, and we are doing some act, with this feedback from these different entities. So this we should understand. Just understand, and the entities, how we have to deal with them in next sutras. We'll be learning all these things. Okay, next one. Then coming to gunas. So what are gunas? As I mentioned in the Panchakosha model, in Sankhya model. So whole universe is made up of three gunas, because gunas are originated from ahankara. First, the prakriti. From prakriti we got buddhi. From buddhi, that is mahat. From there we got ahamkara. From ahamkara we got satvika ahankara and tamasika ahankara. And with the rajasic driving force, this pancha, from satvika ahankara, there are panchendriyas and pancha jnanendriyas and pancha karmendriyas originated. And from tamasic ahankara, we got pancha tanmatras. From there we got pancha bhutas. So the pancha bhutas are the basic, you can say it is a raw material for entire world. Even our body is also made up of panchabhutas only. So all these things, they born from the gunas. So modification of gunas constitute all immovable and moving things. So in truth, the world is only gunas. When one guna is prominent, the other two are subordinate. So that means when sattva is predominant, rajas and tamas will be subordinate, means they will follow whatever sattva says. When rajas is predominating, sattva and tamas are under subordination. So when rajas is dominating, rajas will dictate terms to sattva and tamas. When tamas is dominating, sattva and rajas has to listen to tamas. So this is the law of nature. Just keep this in mind. This is also very important. This is the underlying foundation for mastering the mind. Then sattva is purity, light or knowledge. Rajas is passion and activity. Tamas is inertia or dark. So usually most of the people, means even I used to have this false impression that sattva is very good, rajas is very bad, tamas is too bad. No, it is not like that. Entire universe is maintaining the balance of three gunas. All the three gunas are required for existence. All the three gunas are important, but only thing is there should be a balance. And how to maintain the balance? When they are in balance, the mind is also in balance. So the balance is important. It's not that we should not have tamas. When you are sleeping, tamas is required. So, but when we are awakened, when you are not sleeping, tamas should not dominate. But when you are sleeping, tamas should dominate. So like that, it is a very volatile aspect, and they are changing and adjusting themselves. But only thing is, we should have this knowledge, then we will know how to use which guna at what time and how to use them and how to change them as per the requirements. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so as the nature is made up of, the universe is made up of gunas, even our mind also will have gunas. So when sattva is predominating, we call that person as a sattvic personality. When rajas is predominating, we call that person as a rajasic personality. When tamas is predominating, we call that person as a tamasic personality. But it doesn't mean that sattva person will not have rajas and tamas. He or she will have rajas and tamas, but sattva is predominant. So sattva can control rajas and tamas. Rajas is predominating. That means even rajas person also will have sattva and tamas. But Rajas will control Sattva and Tamas is predominating means Sattva and Rajas are controlled by Tamas. Next slide. Yeah. So Sattva mind, that personality is more positive, balanced, confident and peaceful. Rajas dominated personality got passion, they are very active, but the thing is they are self-centered, they need praise, they need power, they want rewards and they are egoistic. Tamasic dominating persons, they are dull, inactive, but stable. If they want to do something for hours together, want to do something to sitting hours together, they can sit like that without moving anywhere. They can sit and they can do. And when the negative angle is there, it is destructive, negative, and lazy. Next slide. So if sattva predominates in the mind, thoughts of God, Brahman will manifest, this mind will be one-pointed, the meditative aspect will come by itself without exertion. So, sattva predominated mind is more suitable for meditation and focus. So, when the mind is one-pointed, so first of all, the first stage in mastering the mind is to go enter into one-pointedness. If somebody wants to be one-pointed, we have to nurture sattva quality. Rajasic man will be ever engaged in worldly activity. So they are more outside, means they are more directed towards outer world than inner world. Okay. Then tamas is inertia, darkness. They are also morely in outer world. They are diverted in towards outer world rather than inner world. So that is why we said sattva predominating mind is more suitable for meditation and one-pointedness, which gives more relaxation to the mind. Next slide. Yeah. Although mind is one, it passes into many conditions or states like sattva, rajas and tama. All these qualities, I'm not able to see this thing. Yeah. All these qualities enter into a variety of combinations. Okay. So, the modifications or vrittis of the mind also are various. So, now we came to the exact word, which is the topic of the day. So, because of the different proportions and the changing in the qualities of gunas and changing in the dominating aspect and subordinating aspect of gunas, it's not always the same. For a same person, for a certain period of time or age, the person may be sattvic. After, because of some experiences or some it may be a negative experience or a positive experience, because of some situations or challenges they faced, they may turn up into rajas, or after some time they may turn up into tamas. So same person always may not be in the same phase. There will be changing. Even in the same day also, we have lot of combinations of gunas concentrations in the mind. So these modifications or vrittis of the mind also are various. So now we understood there are modifications and proportions and permutations and combinations in the mind. Right? Next slide. Yeah. So what is Patanjali Maharshi explained in these sutras is the first 1.2, the sutra number 1.2 says, Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So, that modifications, if we can master these modifications and reduce these modifications or control these modifications, that is called yoga. So that is the definition given by Patanjali Maharshi. So most, if some of you are totally new to this subject and have never worked about, learned about yoga or something, what the general idea of yoga is doing asanas and pranayama. That is what even I used to think in my childhood until I entered as a student into S-VYASA. So the general idea is yoga means it is doing practicing the asanas for physical fitness and doing some pranayams for mental fitness and doing meditation to improve our concentration. So that aspect is a part of yoga, but that is not the only aspect in yoga. The main aspect of yoga is to control and mastery over the mind. Especially as far as Patanjali Maharshi's yoga is concerned, it talks more about mind, whereas Hatha Yoga talks more about asanas and kriyas. Next, next slide. Yeah. So there are 196 sutras that were discussed, that were given by Patanjali Maharshi. So all these for means to understand and for our convenience. Later on, they were categorized into 4 chapters. They are called Pada. So the first chapter is Samadhi Pada. The second chapter is Sadhana Pada. The third chapter is Vibhuti Pada. And fourth chapter is Kaivalya Pada. So, just have an idea and just remember these names, that's all. Then slowly we will go into each pada, then we will know. And at the end of the 4 sessions, again I will put this slide, then you will understand what is the Samadhi pada, Sadhana pada, Vibhuti pada and Kaivalya pada. Next slide. So in Samadhi pada, we will discuss few very important sutras to understand the concept of this chapter as a whole. So, because I said it is an essence of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, it is a basic class I am taking. So, we will have just a broad understanding of this pada. So, in today's session, I am discussing about, I already discussed about Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Next one. So what are all these the sutra? The first one is Atha Yoganuशासनम, means after learning about the fundamentals and basic concepts like what we discussed about the Sankhya model, Panchakosha model and Guna model, Gunas, about Gunas and all. Now let us talk about the yoga aspect. Yoga, what is yoga? What is the yoga? What yoga is saying? So, that is the first sutra Patanjali Maharshi said. Then he said, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That is what? The modifications and the um, combinations and the concentrations of gunas and modifications of mind as manas, buddhi, chitta and ahankara. So these modifications are controlled or mastered. That is called yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Then what are vrittis? So here he said yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. So what are vrittis? There are 5 types of vrittis. Vrittaya, panchataya, klishta, aklishta. So They can be troublesome or may not be troublesome. Then what are those panchavrittis? Pramana, Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smritayaha. So pramana is one vritti, Viparyaya is another vritti, Vikalpa is another vritti, Nidra is another vritti, Smriti is another vritti. So the five vrittis are, these are the five vrittis. Then pramana, pramana means, what are the pramana? In pramana there are three aspects. I will explain in next slide. I am just reciting the sutra. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama, Pramanani. So the pramanas are, three types of pramanas are there. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama. Then what is Viparyaya? So pramana is defined in this sutra. Then as they said, Pramana, Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra and Smriti. So five vrittis are there. So second vritti is Viparyaya. So Viparyaya is, what is Viparyaya is defined. Mithya jnanam atadrupa pratishtitam. That is Viparyaya. I will explain. Then Vikalpa, Shabdajnana Anupati, Vastushunyah, Vikalpaha. Then Nidra, Abhava Pratyaya Lambana Vrittihi Nidra. Then Smriti, Anubhuta Vishaya Asampramoshaha Smritihi. So, what they said in the second sutra, he said Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So, what are Chitta Vrittis? He explained in these sutras. Then how you get Nirodha? Abhyasa Vairagabhyam Tat Nirodha. So, if you practice Abhyasa and Vairagya, then you can get Nirodha. So, let us discuss each sutra in a detailed way. Next slide. Yeah. So he said, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So yoga is control. Nirodha means you can say control, regulate. Actually, unfortunately, most of the Sanskrit words cannot be truly translated into English. So that is why we use so many words in English to understand one word in Sanskrit. So Nirodha means it can be regulation, channelizing, mastery, integration, coordination, stilling, quieting, setting aside of the modifications. So yoga is the control of the modifications of the mind field. So what are the modifications? Gross and subtle thought patterns. So these are called modifications. So that is the main idea of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So now this is the subject matter. It is to control the modifications of the mind field. So that is the subject matter. So now how to do it? Next. Yeah. Then what they said? Vrittayaha, Panchatayaha, Klishtaha. So the subtle thought patterns, the vrittis, they fall into five varieties. So these five varieties can be painful or troublesome, and some may be painful, not painful or not troublesome. So the troublesome or painful word is also called as, it is colored or uncolored. So some thoughts we get, they may be colored with some emotion. So then we will get, if they are colored with some negative emotion, we'll get trouble, or we feel worried, or we get some pain in the mind. If they are not colored with emotion, only we got some thought, a thought without an emotion is uncolored. A thought with an emotion is called colored. Okay, next one. Yeah. So now they said 5 vrittis, they can be colored or uncolored. Then what are the 5 vrittis? Pramana. Pramana is a right knowledge. So the thoughts in any individual, if you sit and observe, you all the thoughts will fall into either of these 5 categories only. So now I am talking about Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So it is a right knowledge because it is given by a sage, and I am discussing only that. So it is, you can say it is a pramana. Then viparyaya. Viparyaya is a wrong knowledge. If I am talking something other than this, saying that it is Patanjali Yoga Sutra without any evidence or anything, then it can be a viparya, it can be a wrong knowledge. Then vikalpa. Vikalpa is baseless knowledge, anything we are imagining without any base. That is called vikalpa. Sometimes we get so many thoughts like that. Then nidra. Nidra is, it can be deep sleep where most of the time we don't have any thoughts, or even when we are awake also, if we are too dull, not thinking anything or not getting much of thoughts, our thought flow is too slow, not able to take any decision, not able to do anything. That state also we can take it as a nidra. Then smriti, it is memory. As we said in Antakarana Chatushtaya, the memory house, the impressions what we get after our experience, that is smriti. So our thoughts may be on the basis of smriti, or our thoughts may be too slow or too dull like nidra, or our thought may be an imagination without any base, or our thought may be a wrong thought with a wrong knowledge, our thought can be a thought with a right knowledge on the basis of a right knowledge. So sometimes you can just sit and think about this. You can classify your thoughts into either of these. They will fit into either of these. So because we want to master our mind, we want to gain mastery over our thoughts, we should learn what are the types of getting. If we don't know, how can we master it? Suppose I want to cook some gulab jamun. What are the ingredients? What is the procedure? If I don't know, how can I cook a gulab jamun? So, what is the content of a thought? If we don't know, we cannot gain mastery over the thought. So, that is why he first defined the thoughts into 5 categories. Okay, next one. Yeah. So, now he is defining each thought. So, he said pramana is the first thought. So, of these 5, there are 3 ways of gaining. So, pramana, we said it is a right knowledge. So, how can we get a right knowledge? What can be the basis or what can be the foundation to say that it is a right knowledge? So, when you feel or when you gain the knowledge by using your senses, suppose now I am telling you, I am explaining Yoga Sutra. So, you are just watching it with your eyes and you are hearing with your ears, and also you can again means refer some texts where all these things are there. So that is a perception, but actually this comes under testimony. But I can give you another example. Suppose somebody said there is a big temple in so and so city. Somebody told that there is a big temple, that God is really very beautiful. We visited the temple, that is fine. And the temple has got so many gods. One of the god is Lord Shiva, another is Lord Vishnu, another is Lord Ganesha. Somebody explained about the temple. So when you go there and really see that there is a big temple, there are gods in the temple, then it is gaining the knowledge about the temple is perception. So that is the correct knowledge about the temple. Okay. So that is perception, because you went there, you used your karmendriyas and jnanendriyas and you gained the knowledge. Then inference. It is an indirect knowledge. So it's not, you have not visited the temple, but you saw the temple in a TV, or you read about the temple. Somebody else went there and they showed you some picture. So you got some evidence, but really you have not visited the temple. That can be an inference. And but in Vedic knowledge, they give some example. The commonest example what they give is, suppose there is a smoke. You saw a smoke. When you will get a smoke, you will get smoke only when there is a fire. So when a few days back you saw a fire, on the fire there is a smoke. So after few days you saw only smoke, but you have not seen the fire. But because you got some experience that with smoke will come only with fire, so then you will conclude that when I see a smoke somewhere, that means there is a fire behind that or somewhere which I am not able to see. So it is an indirect knowledge, that is called inference. Then third one is how you will get a correct knowledge. The ways of getting correct knowledge we are discussing now. The third one is testimony or verbal communication from others who have knowledge. It's like, see here, an uh, a guru or an experienced person, he is talking about that. I will give you another example. Suppose E is mc square, that is given by some scientist, Einstein, I think Einstein. He gave that formula and he derived it and he explained it. Some people, when they were there during his era, they understood it. Then after that, when I am studying in my 10th standard or intermediate, they said that E is equal to mc square. Though I don't know how to derive at that formula, because it is already proven by great scholars and it is being used by many people, I believe that it is correct. So that is a testimony or a verbal communication from others who have knowledge. So they said, I felt the Brahman, I felt the true self, I experienced true self. Then he is explaining about the true self. He is explaining about Panchabhuta because they experienced it, because he is a scholar. We believe them. So that is a testimony or a verbal communication from others who have knowledge. Next one. Next slide. Yeah. So now I am just explaining the other vrittis. So viparyaya is, so first vritti we discussed in the previous slide, that is pramana, that is the true knowledge. Then we said viparyaya is the second vritti, that is mithya jnanam atadrupam pratishtitam. So that means what it says is incorrect knowledge or illusion is a false knowledge formed from perceiving a thing as being other than what it is really. That means for this, they give an example of a rope and a snake. I'm just walking in front of my house, and in some dim light I saw a rope, but I mistake it as a snake, and I get fear and I shout. Then somebody else will on a torch on that rope. Then I realize that no, it is not snake, it is a rope. But actually there is no snake in that place. But because of lack of light, improper light, I interpreted it as a snake. So it is not the true jnanam, it is mithya jnanam. It is an illusion that I felt it as a snake, but it's not snake. So like that also many times, though the reality is different, our interpretation will be wrong. That also will most of the time troubles us. So viparyaya, many times we get illuded, we get incorrect knowledge and interpret something in a different way. Then third one is shabda jnana anupati vastushu. What is vikalpa? Vikalpa means there is no base at all. In viparyaya at least we have rope. For rope we interpreted as snake. But here in vikalpa there is no physical aspect anything. We will just imagine in dreams, fantasy. We just think something without any basis in a physical world. So that is a fantasy or imagination is a thought pattern that has verbal expression and knowledge, but for which there is no such object or reality in the existence. That is vikalpa. Sometimes we do that also. Then anubhava pratyaya alambana vritti nidra. Then what is abhava pratyaya alambana? Sorry, nidra. What is nidra? Nidra means most of the time a thoughtless pattern or thoughts on very subtle form. No much thought. No much thought. It is a dullness or inertia or really a sleep. That also slowing of thought. That is also another type of vritti. Means becoming too dull and not able to take decision, not able to act as per the requirement. So that also will create trouble. Many times we do that sometimes because when we are too much saturated or too much overloaded, suddenly we may become dull. So that is a nidra. That is the state of nidra. Then the fifth vritti is smriti. What is smriti? Anubhuta Vishaya Asampramoshaha Smritihi. So, recollection of memory or is mental modification caused by inner reproducing of previous impression. As I said, the previous knowledge, previous experience, previous suffering, previous joy, previous failure. It can be anything. If it is suffering, it is klishta. If it is not suffering, it is aklishta. So the mental impressions that are formed because of previous experiences, that is called smriti. So the smriti usually the thing that has formulated that will not be changed in future. Whatever is printed, that will be there most of the times. So that is also one of the vrittis. Next one. Yeah, what are all we explain now that is depicted in this picture. So pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, vrutayaha. So pramana, how we can get a right knowledge? As we said, pratyaksha, by perceiving ourselves through our senses. Anumana, that is inference. On seeing a smoke, you may infer that there is a fire. So it is an indirect inference. Agama is testimony from great sages who already experienced the knowledge. Then second is viparya, as I said, it's wrong knowledge. So we are mistaking a rope as a snake because of darkness. Vikalpa is fantasy, no background object is present. It's only a verbal expression for which there is no object. Nidra is state of emptiness or absence of other vrittis, or you can say it is dullness or slowing down of vritti, that is Nidra, or non-reacting to the things. Then Smriti, recollection of experienced object without adding details from other sources. So it is a collection of the imprint of the experience as it is without coloring. That is Smriti. So today we define yoga as yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. Then what are the vrittis? There are 5 types of vritti. Vrittayah panchayatayah klishtaha. What are the pancha vrittis? Pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, smritayah. So 5 vrittis. Yeah. Yogaschitta vritti nirodha, vrittayah panchatayah klishtaha. 5 vrittis are pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, smritayah. So these all 5 vrittis we explained. The next slide, please. Yeah. Then how to overcome these vrittis? As they said, vrittaya, panchataya, klishtaha. So, how to overcome these klishta vrittis? This is abhyasa vairagabhyam tan nirodha. So, how to overcome, how to do practice nirodha? As we said, it is a chitta vritti nirodha is yoga. So, we learned about vrittis, 5 types of vrittis. Then nirodha, how to get nirodha? We can practice nirodha by practicing abhyasa, continuous practice, and vairagya, non-attachment. So these thought patterns are mastered or regulated, coordinated, controlled, stilled or quiet through practice, abhyasa, and non-attachment, vairagya. So in next class, we will discuss what is the definition of abhyasa, what is the definition of vairagya, and how to practice and how to become ourselves non-attached. These things we will discuss. Any doubts, anybody?
Right. Thank you so much. Kindly raise your hands if you have any doubts. We will spare some time for that.
Very, very nicely explained. It was nice to understand a little bit more in detail about the workings of the mind, the body, everything. I mean, I loved the presentation. I probably will only be able to remember 10% of it, but thank you so much. I am trying to understand, you said the Panchakosha. First question is, you said Jnana Maya Kosha and Vijnana Maya Kosha. Are they the same thing? Um, that was the first question. And then you talked also about, direct experience versus inference. In today's world with social media and all, most of the experiences are inferences. Somebody tells us and pretends to be, um, knowledgeable, and you think he is. So I wanted you to expand, if you can, a little bit on that, on how to use this knowledge when we go into social media and other things.
Yeah, okay, thank you. First question, Jnana and Vijnana. As far as my knowledge, Jnana, Vijnana are the same. Jnanamaya Kosha or Vijnanamaya Kosha are same. Okay. The second question what you asked is Pramana, Pramana, that is inference what you are Pratyaksha, Paroksha Pramana. Yeah. So, as you said, social media and all, really, they are really creating lot of trouble. So, in inference also, you have some indirect proof. What they said is, suppose you see a smoke, then you can infer that there is a fire and because of fire, smoke is coming. So if I apply this idea to social media or something, without looking at smoke only, people are thinking that there is a fire. So first of all, you should check whether smoke is there or not. Then you can infer that there is a fire. But I think you got my point. So nowadays it is dumping, and so the thought load is more for our minds because of social media. So the one point I would like to highlight is we have to segregate, and you should have a fence to your mind whether to allow that or not. So that discriminating capacity we should increase. That is what we talk about in Antakarana Chatushraya. So first of all, we should sharpen our buddhi. Then only it is easier whether to, and we can segregate, which is okay. We can believe it or not. We can take it as an indirect inference or not. So these are very important. We will definitely discuss these aspects in the next session also.
Madam,
Yeah.
just simply practicing detachment itself is helps to overtake that vrittis. That is what the definition you told.
No. See, I just gave the definition. We will discuss in the next session about this detachment.
Okay, Prasad.
Okay,
Dr. Prasad says, good evening, madam. It's very lucid presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, right. Thanks for the feedback, and we will assemble again next Saturday at 8 p.m. I think the time will be 1.5 hours, which includes 1 hour, 15 minutes of presentation and 15 minutes of question and answers. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabad Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.